Well, hello, Barcelona, which might sound strange coming from somebody who obviously is not in Barcelona, but I say hello anyway. Have a great time here. I would very much hope that I will be with you next year. Probably the most impactful thing that I have done in this area was taking the year off, you know, and making a big experimental year where there was no client work done whatsoever. That of course took quite a lot of planning, you know, to figure out how the studio would work without an income. I mean, it took some financial planning, as well as some, you know, just proper planning that how do you make sure that when you restart, that you're still going to have clients and so forth and so on. But for me, that worked out brilliantly. Being bored with the day-to-day, not quite happy with the quality of the work, all the regular things that people think. Made us close for in 2000 until 2001, and it was had a lot of impact on the studio. In all the things that I found in that year that I thought I wanted to do, but discovered I don't want to do them, and all the things that I thought I would want to do and didn't want to do them. One of them was reading. I thought that, because I am a big reader, I thought I would want to read much more than I possibly have time during the busy work week. Turned out that what I was reading was just enough for me, which is, I don't know, I probably read like a book a week, roughly. Another thing that was somewhat back in the back of my mind was that I wanted to become a film director, and I was not so naive about it that I would think that this would be a quick process. So I thought it might be a 10-year process of me starting to learn more about every aspect of filmmaking, to the point where after 10 years I probably could expect to make a piece of moving imagery that I would be happy with myself. And as I tried to figure out how I would actually make that happen, like which schools to go to, how I would finance the whole thing, as I made a plan how to make that happen, it occurred to me that what happened if it turns out that after this 10-year process I have nothing to say. And in that year, at that time when I was thinking about it, Magnolia also had just come out, and that frustrated the shit out of me. I mean, simply because, you know, Wes Anderson was just so young, and it was always such an accomplished piece. disregarding that before I ever said anything that I wanted to say, and invest all my energy into learning a new language, which would be film. Many new projects came out of that. Maybe the most visible one is the series of things that I've done in my life so far, that we've been publishing as graphic design projects, so all of them have been commissioned by clients, but the content is ours. And I found that made the most biggest difference in client projects when the shift of who supplies the content came in. It makes it so much easier to work with clients because it's not their content that's so very dear to their heart that they are meant to in every form and every shape and every image they're doing. But if it's them just paying for the media, but it is our content, it makes things so much easier. And of course I also realize that, you know, we're in a unique position that we're able to pull this off. I mean, this is not a recipe for every design company in the world to do this. Originally I had said we're going to do 1 or 2 years of experiments. Then I think after 8 months I sat down and made my usual pro and con list of should I keep it within a year or should I go for a second year. And to my own surprise, there was no question at all to keep it within a year. We started in September 2000 and we opened in September 2001, which of course was a very strange day. It turned out to reopen anything. We were on a design studio and none of us in here really felt like doing straightforward design work anyway. They came by themselves. It was a client's idea. The first one was a magazine who said we have 12 pages, 6 spreads. They are dividing pages between the different sections of the magazine. Do something. In that client-free year, I had kept a diary, which I had always kept, but this year I kept it more thoroughly because I had more time on it. And among the many things that I wrote down in that diary was this list that I've done in my life so far. So then we just picked the first thing, which was everything I do always comes back to me, and ran it for this magazine. We did that with surprisingly good feedback results. I would say among my favorite responses would be an email I received from a woman in Seoul, in Korea, who had gone to a monastery to get Buddhism instruction. And in the morning, the Buddhist monk came in saying that he normally never reads the newspaper, but apparently that morning he did, and he saw a typographic version of exactly that thing, of everything I do. And they in Seoul, in that monastery, used that sentence as their motto for that class, for that morning. From there, I knew that I wanted to do more. I think once 6 or 7 of them were out, the whole thing turned out, became a life on its own. And now it's people who come to us. And it's funny because I think Matthias downstairs right now is reconfiguring that first one for a wall for a music center in Portugal, for Casa de Música. So it's going to be like, you know, gigantic on that wall. But in general, I think I'm a really positive person. I definitely am really in a very good situation. You know, I live in the city that is my favorite city that I chose to live in. I had the freedom to see and say, this is actually where I want to live. Working in the profession that I chose to be working. In general, doing the kind of projects that I would like to do. I'm with a girlfriend that I want to be with. If you would look at the situation superficially, you would think, of course, that because we would be happy and we would have to be an idiot if we wouldn't be. And at the same time, of course, I'm also very aware of the fact that constant happiness is something that is absolutely impossible to achieve. Happiness is something that has been designed by evolution as basically a carrot, as a compass to show you where to go. As humans, we want fat, we want sugar, and most plants that are sweet are not poisonous. So there is it's sort of like a compass to let us know where to go. Now, if you're happy all the time, it's like a compass that is stuck on north. It's not worth a lot to us. And probably if we would be happy all the time, there wouldn't be a reason to do anything. We would just sit around and get fat again. At the moment, actually, I ran out of things that I've learned. So I've only learned 21 things so far in my life, and I think we are just at the, including the ones that we're working on now, we're going to be 21. And we're going to do another year starting in September 2008, after exactly another 7 years. Tenured professors get every 7th year off. It was also interesting to me that even though I've never scheduled it that way, that it has this 7-year rhythm in year 2. And so I actually had the chance to talk to a number of people who had a sabbatical, from their professorship. And I've talked to one who basically said, well, I sadly wasted it. House renovations came up and he renovated his house in that year. And this year for me was too difficult to make happen, to basically paste it into busyness, or paste it just because then busyness is a very sorry thing to me. Then I'd rather, sit on the beach and drink, margaritas than being here and sending files around the world because people ask me to. The question is if I can represent happiness in a movement or a sound. There is probably it's a running scale of happiness. So I think if we have contentment here and ecstasy here, then maybe bliss might be here, or maybe even, if this is contentment, probably even here is just comfortableness. And then what do we have in the middle of it? Just ecstasy here, bliss. So we go directly from contentment into bliss.